Welcome to another episode of the Steal a Moment podcast with me, Michael LeBois. Today's guest is Tyler Stanfield, fantastic local musician here in Denver, Colorado, who's been in many bands, been with many projects, and we have worked with a lot of the same people, including Scott Ewell, one of our earlier guests on the podcast, being one of the many people he's worked with, and hopeful future guests that we will have here in the near future. It's fantastic to talk to Tyler, talk about his work process and how he's benefited from 2020 in terms of his music as well as his life. It's been great for him in some capacities. It's been tough for all of us in a lot of ways as well, as we continue to try and get through the end of this year and into the holidays, and hopefully being able to spend time with our family, which is something that's talked about a little bit in this episode. Tyler comes on to promote a couple different projects. His solo project has an awesome song out right now that you guys need to check out. It's called Whiskey Heart. That video is on YouTube right now. That'll be up in one of these two corners. I can never remember which one it is. Just go ahead and check that out. There'll also be a link in the description below. Also, his band Fools to Lie has a song called Suffer Ride, which is also amazing. If you dig Deftones, Seven Dust, if you dig Breaking Benjamin, you'll love that. If you just like really good music, listen to anything Tyler Stanfield has his name on. It's fantastic. We are post-Halloween. We are heading into Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving, there will be no episode on Black Friday. I'm actually just taking a week off from doing everything and just going to kind of take some time for myself, spend some time with family over that week and kind of enjoy those days. So I'm not rushing to put out content. Also love the support we've been seeing lately from the last few episodes. Keep it coming, guys. I have views, but I need likes, comments, and subscriptions. That's how my channel grows. I have a target to hit 50 subscriptions within by December 31st. We're at 36 as of the recording of this. So tell your friends, tell your family, if you have a Google email account, you have a YouTube account, so go ahead and just click on the subscribe button. It'd be great. I would really appreciate it. 60% of my viewers are not subscribed, so I'd love to have you guys. Also, guys, go back and check out previous episodes. We have Lindsay Manfredi of the band Cold. We have pop punk band Dead Bundy. We have Colton Ramey. We have Adam Ramey of Dropout Kings. We have Andrew Whiteman of Anti-Saint, Ryan Harris of the Denver Broncos. Coming up, we have other guests that I cannot name yet because they have not been scheduled, but just be ready. Some crazy things are coming at the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021. This is a train that is not going to stop, guys. I'm really excited about where this is going. If you're listening, you can't see the excitement on my face, but I hope you can hear it in my voice. I am so pumped for 2021 as we have a chance to really grow the brand. Also, if you guys haven't yet, and why haven't you, I don't know, please go check out my band's single, Through Bloodshot Eyes. We have had a nice growth on Spotify. We're hoping to have a music video out here in the near future, done by A Verse to the End and Project Vela guitar player Travis Owen, who's a really good friend of the band's. So be ready for that as well, guys. That'll be up on our YouTube page. If you like this podcast, go check out my band page. That'll be up in one of the corners as well. It will also be mentioned in the podcast. So guys, if you can, please like, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. It's the only way this grows. I'd love the assistance from you guys. I know it sounds like I'm begging, but and with that being said, Tyler and I would like to steal a moment. How's everything going, man? It's good to actually sit down and talk to you finally. I've heard your name a bunch. We've probably crossed paths at least once or twice in our lifetimes as musicians in the state of Colorado. So
Yeah, I'm quite sure of that.
Yeah. So you're out in New York right now doing the big boy job thing, and
Yeah.
that's always fun to do. What's been the biggest success for 2020 for you right now? Whiskey Heart, would you say?
I depends on what you say or consider a success. If you're talking about the music world, I think the Whiskey Heart has definitely done very well. So far, I'm excited for it. We put a lot of work into it. I wrote it a number of years ago, and it got shelved for a long time. So it's good to see it kind of see the light of day, and I think the best part is to see people actually respond to it positively and gain some traction. So I think in the music world, if you're asking me the biggest successes, I would say that is it's definitely up there.
Yeah, man, I definitely dig the track. I heard it. A lot of familiar faces for me associated with the video. Noe being one of them, and then Chelsea Hawthorne as well being in it as well. That's fantastic, man. I'm glad to see that you're working with some quality people. It's always a plus when you can get some good people behind the product as well to make it look good and feel good, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the words. It's funny. We've been waiting for the right time to make this happen. We were waiting for the right truck. I was waiting for the right model. I was waiting for the right location and the right time, and it just kind of all fell together. And Jace, I've been playing music for a number of years, so when I asked him to help me write that lead and to perform on the song, he was super stoked, and I think it turned out great. And Chelsea looks amazing. Noe did a phenomenal job. It was a very hot day when we shot it. And the Cameron Peak fire was roaring pretty good, so it was pretty smoky and pretty hot, but we made it through.
Yeah, and I completely forgot. No disrespect to Jace Hill, that dude's a monster on guitar. Known him for a number of years as well. That's awesome that he got a nice lead in there. That lead is actually ridiculous. It was unbelievable, and it definitely added the right feel to that song. You said you shelved it for a while. Has that happened for you quite often with songs? Like, do certain songs just you have to wait for the right moment, or what's your writing? I guess your writing process with that then.
I mean that's kind of a tough thing to answer in one question, but
Yeah.
as far as the reason why the song got shelved, excuse me. I wrote it when I was in Austin, Texas, and in the transition period of leaving Austin to coming back to Denver, and just life in general, man. It happens, and I was busy on the road playing shows, and I didn't really have a lot of time to settle down in the studio and focus on finishing products. And so, unfortunately, COVID helped and got me grounded. I've been on the road since 2011. So to be in one city for 7 months was a big deal. But yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's life happens for good and for bad. And I'm very glad it did. I think that things worked out perfectly.
Yeah, man, I can attest as a musician myself and working on new material. We actually have a new song releasing this Friday that from the day of this recording. That is something that got better because of COVID. And unfortunately, I mean, it's finding the positives in this time right now as an artist has to be kind of difficult in some ways, I'm sure, because we can't really go out and play shows. We have to change how we promote things now. What's the biggest positive you've found out of this time frame of us not being able to play shows live or really get to experience audiences really enjoying our music in a live setting?
I think, not to be cheeseball, but I think that my relationships have gotten a lot stronger with the ones that I'm close to. um, I think that's probably been the coolest thing is I've gotten um, I've gotten closer with people that I needed to, and so it's I don't know. I mean, it's I'm on the boat that I'm blessed and I'm fortunate that through this things have been okay for my family and myself, and I mean that's all I can be grateful for. So.
Amen, man. I can attest to that as well. I feel like the relationships that we need to have better and the ones that we work hard to really reconnect are the ones that have found the most strength in this time. I think that that's really important as well, is that we remember this is a time for development, and we can take that as a time to reignite or reassess relationships and friendships that we've had in years, whether they be personal or professional. By no means is that cheeseball at all. I think that that's the correct response, because I mean, from personal experience, just to state this, I live with my girlfriend. I would never decorate like this. I'm not that good. We got Marvel post.
Hang on, is that S&M bondage? Or wait, is it over here?
The chains right here?
Yeah, is that S&M bondage?
No.
That girl's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, but we started dating right before.
Are you red right now? Did I just make you red?
Yeah,
That's cool.
You got me. But no, we met right before COVID, and we made the decision 2 months into our relationship to essentially move in together and see if we could make it work. And it was an opportunity to try something different and take a risk. And I've kind of turned that one risk into taking other ones, like this podcast, like trying some different things with my own music, and taking that as an opportunity to develop this relationship, which has helped develop my family relationship, which has helped me grow as a musician as well, with writing and finding new things to write about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's one of those things that, like, I didn't ever think I would actually do this. Like, I don't ever think I would actually start this. This podcast is 4 years old, and I just started it 2 months ago, if that makes sense.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's one of those things, is like, I wanted this as an opportunity to get to meet people like you, other artists across the country, people that I have admired for a long time that I've really wanted to get to know better. And what's interesting is you and I have a ton of connections to each other without even really thinking about it. We have like Davey Bartlett, Scott Yule, Jace Hill, Andy Ard, like all these crazy dudes that we've all played with over the years.
And also played music with.
Yeah, exactly. What is it about, in your opinion, what is it about the Denver music scene that kind of makes us all work together or really enjoy being around each other enough to want to play music with each other all the time?
That's a funny question. I don't know, man. I think that there's a especially for everybody that you just listed out. I mean, they're all great friends and great musicians, and I love them all. And I say this every time I play shows with them. Every time I'm on stage with everybody that I play with, Jamie does drums for me, and I got a couple guys that join me on bass whenever they can. Neil and Ross and Jason Scott and all those guys. Andy. Every time I'm on stage with them, I honestly just feel like I'm just there, because I feel like they're such good musicians, and I don't think that I would be anything that I am right now if I didn't have that support and talent of who I play with. And back to your original question, I think the reason why we're all able to be successful and still maintain a brotherhood and play music together is because I don't think anyone's trying to bring anybody down. Right. I think that everyone is here to support each other, and I think that everybody wants to see each other succeed. And we all kind of add our little bit of spices into that that recipe to help that person become more successful. So I think that's the biggest thing is I think that we're still a small enough community where we can work together to make everybody better instead of try to bring someone else down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've actually had Scott on here, and that's one of the things we talked about is how we kind of have built this community where we can work together and develop a process together where we aim to aid each other in ways. We promote each other really well. We develop relationships where we want to work together, and no one is trying to assume that they're better than anybody else. And I think that that's the most important part to build a strong scene. Granted, I'm only in the rock and metal scene. I've played a few. I've filled in a few shows with like guys like Buckstein. So I've jumped some ships.
I don't remember where I was. I was at like Durango Songwriters or something, and somebody thought I was him. And because he's a big dude too, and he always wears a hat. And they were like, "Oh, Buckstein," and the first part of my brain went, "Yeah," just to see how it would play. Anyways, I emailed him later that night, and I was like, "Somebody thought I was you." It was funny, but he's a funny guy.
He is a good dude, man. And I had a great time. I got to play a couple shows with him I think it was last summer. And it was a blast. He's a great dude and it's fun. But that's what I'm saying is like we all together, like I replaced a guy that I've known for years because he needed to take a vacation and go spend some time with his dad. Like it was awesome. It was a phone call that I got because we can trust each other. It's not a situation where you're like, I'm terrified to make this phone call because I think this dude is not good at what he does.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we have as a community. And you're right, we are still small enough that it garners that respect that we all know each other well enough to kind of help develop that brand. I also think it's interesting because you said you lived in Austin for a while, right? How different is the music scene there compared to here in terms of what you see?
Hang on, bro. Okay, thank you. So
we're not in the same room. It's okay. We're definitely 6 feet apart.
Hey, first off, before I answer that question, are you a beer drinker?
Yes.
You ever had Yingling?
It's coming to Colorado. They finally have a Western distributor.
I know, late 2021, I know.
Yeah.
But for whoever watches this and whoever knows or doesn't know, this beer is the oldest beer in America. 18, I can't remember. I'd have to do some research, but it's delicious. And you can
yes, it is.
get it on the East Coast right now. So anybody that has never had Yingling, try some. So to answer your question about Austin, and it's funny that you asked me that because I was just about to say something. So when I moved to Austin, it was that dream come true / slap in the face.
Right.
Right. And it was post Lost Point when I left Lost Point, and we were doing really, really well. And we had a pretty good run for the last couple of years. And so when I moved to Austin, it was like, I mean, anybody that's ever been to Austin or has played there or performed there at South by or ACL or anything, it's a magical town. I mean, it's amazing. I personally, I think it's better than Nashville. Nashville's amazing too. But, and this is what I hope Denver stays away from. And anybody that listens to this that has any strength in the business, please adhere to it. But I think what's going to keep Denver is to keep real artists in control and to keep venues that are locally owned and not the big boys. And I think that if we can keep our venues like Oriental Theater, for example. Oriental Theater does not book through AEG and Ticketmaster and all those guys. If we can keep the good venues to what we as artists and people that want to go see shows, keep it as real as possible. Once you start getting over that real feel and start ripping off people, it just takes away from that feel, and it takes away from that realness of the music. And I hope that in Denver we can do that. And I hope we can keep the artistry there, and I hope that we can keep that family feel to what it is that we do. Because I don't know, man. you start getting away from that, and then you got to start battling for spots, and it's all about who you know, or who you paid off to get this gig, or if you're in with this clique, then you're totally cool to get these shows. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be talent. It should be honest emotion, and that's my 2 cents.
I completely agree. And I think one of the bigger blows to the Denver music scene, unfortunately, was the loss of the Marquee and Summit to Live Nation, at least in some capacity, because I loved those venues, and those were the ones that we played the most at the time. So it's kind of one of those situations where, like, you lose those 2 venues, you then have to figure out where to go from there, and then trying to get into the Oriental, the Gothics, the Bluebirds, and then not being able to get those shows, and essentially being relegated to, not relegated because they're still good venues, but like X Saloon and Herman's Hideaway and some of these other local venues that are not necessarily large, but and not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not the Marquee, they're not the Summit, they're not built out to be these bigger, like, at home venues that are venues first.
Yeah, and once again, I didn't mean to say that negatively. I'm not talking bad about these venues. They're amazing places, and
Right.
the shows that they put on are phenomenal. I'm just saying that it's a delicate balance of having that hometown feel. It's so hard to make it in the music industry, and it's so hard to be respected and find that window. And I think with COVID, I think that it's going to open the door to a lot of those smaller musicians. I think that the way that things are going right now with, I don't know how to say this. I just think that us smaller guys are going to start getting a little bit better opportunity to get in the spotlight of more, or in the ears of more listeners, and at least have the opportunity to be exposed to more than I think that we've ever had the opportunity to.
I agree. I think it's because a lot of those higher level artists are kind of trying to navigate how to get what some of the smaller level artists have already been doing, trying to navigate their way back down a little bit to, what do we do now that we don't have a live show to promote, or some new material that we can put together right now, where a lot of these smaller artists already have these materials and can find ways to release them to a larger audience that are maybe looking for it now, since it's more about consuming it's more about how it's consumed now, because we don't run the risk of having to wait for a live show to see some of these things. We can just put it out there and hope that there's an audience to look for it. I know from our experience, it's been difficult to stay motivated because we want to release a ton of stuff, but we can't do some of the things we wanted to do. We're trying to figure out how to shoot a music video right now for the single we're releasing this week, and it's just been kind of a tough situation because how it's going to be done is not the preferred method of everybody in the project. So that's kind of where we're stuck at right now. And
yeah, I know a dude.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mentioned this in our messenger beforehand, but Noe was actually the first guy who ever did professional pictures for a band I was in. I was in a band called Wild Angels a long time ago.
Oh, I think I remember that band.
Were you in Lost Point when we did our CD release show at the Gothic?
Oh, I feel like I was. When was that?
It was like 2000, I want to say 2007 or 2009.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was us, The Threatened, and you guys in Lost Point. and it was a crazy night.
That might be before I joined. I don't know.
Okay, because yeah, it was crazy. And then we went on, like, right after that, we went on to do Best Band in Denver, and it was like Novus Folium, us, I think Lost Point, 2013, and No One Left Standing.
Oh, that brings back so many memories.
Yeah, and when it was actually at X, and it was when Clown was the guest host. It was the year Novus won the whole thing, and yeah. Absolute anarchy. But that's just proof of how long we've been doing this. Like,
that's right, Clown from
Slipknot.
From Slipknot.
But yeah, that and that's the thing, is like the Hill Boys are some of my favorite people. I've known Tyler and Jason Brennan forever. I'm in Davies Fantasy Football League with Beef, so like I see these guys all the time. It's always fun to kind of like relive the old days a little bit.
How did we never call them Davy Beef? How did we never?
I don't know.
I just thought of that. That's hilarious. Davy Beef.
The Davy Beef, the rhythm section. Oh man.
So fun.
So without being able to tour, without being able to,
I can't get over your freaking S&M over here. I think
the chains right here. And the funny thing is so my girlfriend's actually right off camera, right next to them too. So
hi.
He says hi. Hello. You can wave. See?
Yes.
He's talking about our chains. Yeah. But so without being able to tour, without being able to see my S&M chains in person, what are you doing now as part of your music front, working with getting Whiskey Heart out there? I know the video's out. I know that you're working towards just promoting it in general right now. What is your target goal right now for the remainder of 2020, for as long as we're not allowed to do this live thing? What are you trying to do in that music front?
So I think the biggest thing is just to get to get out to as many people as possible, right? I'm working on a pretty cool little deal right now that's going to get Whiskey Heart in some rotations on some radio stations regionally. That's probably the biggest thing. And then as far as the video goes, I think the video turned out amazing. I'm really proud of the video. I'm really proud of how it turned out. And this, I think it's cool, man. I think it's a good video, and I want to get that in front of as many eyes as I possibly can. So if you want to talk actual goals, I'll give you an actual number.
Okay.
Truth. My goal is by the end of the year, I want to have 10,000 views on the video, which doesn't seem like that much comparatively to YouTube videos, right?
Right.
But for an unsigned artist and doing everything on your own, releasing everything yourself, recording everything yourself, writing everything yourself, doing everything yourself, plus have a family, plus have a job, plus travel, I'm really proud of the way it's come out. And, we're at 2,000 views right now. We just released it like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yep, I was looking at it. I just wanted to get the number. 2,000 views as of October 13th. So we can get it. We're going to make it happen.
2 weeks old, right? How old is it?
At 3 weeks, according to YouTube, which doesn't exactly give the right measurement. Could be 2.5. We don't know.
Whatever. Let's say 3 weeks old.
Yep.
So that's my minimum goal. And any musician that's watching this, anybody that does this themselves, these are those little incremental things that you have to do for yourself. My original goal was to get the song done. My original goal was to get the video done. My original goal was to just sing it out in public, right? Along with any songs you write. You're a musician, you know what I'm talking about? It's those little things, man. And I don't care how big you get, it's still the same thing. You come up with the song, you come up with the vision, you come up with something that you want to, express and get out of your. It's what you're doing is you're taking it inside and you're getting it out of you. It's what you do as a musician, right?
Yep.
It's the most unpoetic way I can possibly say it. I have things in here that don't feel good in here, so I want them out. And so I write songs to get it out. And so that's the first step. Second step is putting it into a package and putting it into something. And then the third step is releasing that and hoping that people like it. And so yeah, the video. So the goal for the video is 10,000 views by the end of the year and 100,000 views by the end of 2021.
Nice.
And I'm not really into Spotify. I'm not too into Spotify. I don't know enough about it, but we released this song and I got another project that called Fools to Lie that we released another song called Suffer Ride. And Suffer Ride's at 7,000 or 8,000 streams, and we released it a week ago. And Whiskey Heart is at about 5,000 streams.
Nice.
Since the video came out, so in 3 weeks. So the goal for those two songs is to get to 10,000 streams. So baby steps, man. Once you get to 10,000, then you go for 25,000, then you go for 50,000, and then you go for a new project, and then you go for,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at right now with this new single. Honestly, to me, this new single is the best song I've ever written. By the way, I looked it up. 1829. 1829 is when Yingling started.
Drop or wherever you're going to do it. I want to know where that single is going to be and where I can listen to it as soon as we're done with this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll send you the link.
Here or here.
Yeah. It's going to be like here.
Are you going to hang it off the chains?
I'm going to hang it off the chains. I'm going to try and see if I can mark it and put it right there.
Just have your girl do this and then just hang it off of her arm.
Yeah, there you go. But that's the target goal right now is to get the track out. We have it mixed, we have it mastered, we have the artwork, we got the release date, we've been pushing it really hard, we've been trying to get everything out there. And Sean and I are really proud of it. And it's something that we've been working really hard to get out to the public. And now that we have every aspect of it, it's just getting that release date hyped enough that people want to hear it. And I'm so excited to actually have this track out to the public. I've had a couple private listens with my girlfriend, her family, some friends, and they're all really excited about it to the point where they want to promote it. So, that's one of those things that I think we as artists appreciate is sometimes when they
send it over,
I will do that. It's one of those things that we as artists really appreciate is when people are sincerely interested in what you're doing. You can tell the difference between somebody who's like, oh dude, that's so cool, man. To where they're genuinely listening to it. And then when it's done, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference between the two.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, but
oh, you're good.
And here in New York, they put their remotes in condoms.
Well, it's that way they can take it off when you leave, and
safety first, bro.
Safety first. Then they put a new one on when you leave. It's just it's all about courtesy, right?
And then you can clean up right when you're done.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get on a plane for the first time this year, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Have you been traveling more than just New York? Have you been elsewhere?
So I was grounded on March 16th, and I travel weekly. So it was weird, man, being back home. I've traveled twice.
Okay.
This is the second time, and it's different. I mean, you got to be safe. You got to wear your masks and make sure you don't touch stuff. And I'm definitely cautious because I got a family and don't want to get anybody sick. So you do what you got to do.
Right.
I don't know. It's awkward. People are everyone's ugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but no, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, my girlfriend's.
Where are you traveling?
We're flying into Cleveland, the Mistake on the Lake, and then driving up to just outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. My girlfriend's sister and brother-in-law own a maple syrup farm. Yeah, it's called Nova Maple Syrup. Order that shit.
Look it up when you come back.
It's so good. I will. We'll have to bring some back, right, babe? Yeah.
And bring some Yingling too.
And we'll bring some Yingling too. We'll sneak it on the plane. But yeah, so I'm going out there to meet them for the first time. Actually, we've had like FaceTime conversations and stuff, but they were having the sisters' birthdays because her oldest sister and youngest sister are like a day apart birthday wise.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go see them and meet them in person for the first time and get to take a little vacation. Because on top of this, I also do high school play-by-play for high school sports. So I'm the official voice of the Dakota Ridge Eagles.
I knew that. Ask me why I knew that.
Why did you know that?
Because I watch your podcast, bro.
Oh, shit. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And then
was that last week or the week before?
It was last week.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have a day job as well. I work a 9 to 8, 15 to 6 shift, 5 days a week. Nerd.
You're a nerd.
I sit in front of a computer and play with Excel spreadsheets all day. It's kind of nice. And then I do this and I have the band to promote. So,
I feel good. And I'm not saying this to be a dick to anybody that has been affected by this COVID stuff, but it's kind of one of those things that I think that this has been the most grounding time in my adult life, because especially being a musician, and anybody that knows me, who's ever watching this, I'm kind of a dick sometimes, right? I don't mean to be. This has been the most grounding thing that's ever happened. Next to having my daughter, I think this has been the most grounding thing. And it makes you realize what you're truly grateful for. And the fact that you have your big boy job and I got my big boy job, and there's food on the table. I can't express enough gratitude for that being the case.
Oh, amen.
And I try to do everything I can to not say anything that sounds like a dick move to somebody that's unfortunately had some trying times in the last few months. So I just always want to say things like that just to make sure that people know that I'm very aware of the luck of some people, and any way that I can help people that have been affected by this, I'm absolutely there to do so. Definitely.
And I do, trust me, I know how fortunate I am to have a job right now, and I've been able to help people out where I can and have been as supportive as possible to those who have been affected. And one of the things that's been a positive of this is I 100% agree how grounding this has been, because it forces us to have an opportunity to really bring out, a chance for us to really find a way to do things we haven't done before, and things we've learned. I'm gonna do the same thing because I'm a copycat, and it's always fun. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. That's going up here shortly. How much has your social media presence changed in this time frame? Because mine has changed significantly.
You mean since COVID?
Yeah.
So I've always been really I'm very non-personal on Facebook. I actually got off Facebook for like 2 years or a year and a half or something, just because it's just, once again, I'm not going to talk shit about Facebook, but it's just become this nasty cesspool of just ignorance, right? So
correct.
I like it for the platform to let people know that there's new music stuff and things that they can enjoy if they'd like to. As far as how much has it gone up? Exponentially. I mean, I can't even, it's insane. I don't know. It's weird. It's every day I have like 500 friend requests. It's from like random chicks.
I don't.
It's weird because it's more people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want, and so I don't talk about my daughter. I don't talk about my relationships, and I don't talk about my family because it's none of anybody's business except for those that are close to me. So
right.
But as far as the exposure, it's pretty intimidating. You know, I mean, 15 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, maybe I'd respond differently, but I'm much more reserved now and try to keep things that are important to me. So you'll never see me talking about anything that is really
personal. Yeah. Yeah. For me, like, I use my platform to talk about the podcast, talk about the music, occasionally share my opinion on sports, because I occasionally do that. But I don't really, I occasionally will, like, I have a niece. My niece is like 3 months old in a week, and it's awesome. I have, my sister is in her early 40s and was like, I want a kid. And they had a kid, and she was born in the weirdest time. So I've only been able to see her once out of precautionary reasons, because I haven't been able to quarantine and make sure that I'm as clean as possible to see my niece. But I don't broadcast that to the world on my social media networks very often. And I don't really share my personal opinions on things. And my private life is my private life. I keep that to myself, which is the most important thing to me, because I feel like there should be a separation. And some people don't give a shit and just share everything.
That's weird.
It's really uncomfortable.
Hey, do you and your girl want some toys for your stuff? It's got a condom on it.
To go with the S&M chains.
It's wrapped up.
I can see that. Ours was not. It's over on the couch, on the blanket right there, actually.
Sorry. When I'm on the road, man, I got to keep myself entertained.
That's the most important thing. I've traveled a little bit with bands and in other aspects of my life, so keeping yourself entertained when you're by yourself is not always the easiest thing to do. Yeah, it's fun to like to mess around with that kind of stuff. And, man, I love the humor. It keeps me on my toes. I appreciate it. What would you say is the difference between what you do with your solo stuff, and then what's the name of your other project? Fools to Lie. What's the variation on the styles with those? I'm gonna look up Fools to Lie while you're doing that.
Fools to Lie is a project that is kind of like a culmination of all of my writings throughout the years that I can't do acoustically, right? So I grew up in the metal world, man, and rock world. My favorite band, I think, growing up, was Deftones.
Nice. Okay.
I love Deftones, man. I think the reason why I became a musician and why I wanted to do it for a living, or to be able to at least try to do it for a living. I was 16, and Deftones were playing at the Bluebird Theater.
Okay.
And I was there with your boy, with Tyler, and every show we went to, we were always front and center, dude. We were front and center every time. It didn't matter if it was Warped Tour or Infest or Family Values Tour. We were in the front every time. And Chino does this thing where, probably can't do it now, but at the Bluebird they used to do like a security vent, like, so the stage would be here, and then there was a 3-foot opening, and then the security fence would be there, and that's where the front row, the crowd would have to be.
Yeah.
Security and camera and photographers were in there. And Chino always does this thing where he stands on the edge of the stage, and then the other foot he puts on the security row. And I'm kind of a big dude. I'm 6'4", so when Chino came to the railing and he was looking for somebody to grab onto, my hand was the highest hand around, so he grabbed onto my hand, and Tyler and I kind of held him up while he was singing. I can't remember what song it was. I think it was 7 Words.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But anyways, I remember the energy. I could feel his energy. I could feel his aura. I could feel his passion and what it is that he does as an entertainer and as a musician. It completely changed me, and I'll never forget that. And I always think of that when I think of the effect that you can have on people as an entertainer, as an artist, as a musician, as a poet, as whatever it is that you do that can affect people's feelings and change them and comfort them. I'll never forget that shit. That was the craziest experience I had ever felt. I still remember to this day. So my project Fools to Lie is that energy. It's if you had to compare it to a band, you'd probably say it sounds like Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, some Seven Dust harmonies and riffs in there. Just that hard stuff that we grew up on, man. The new rock, you know,
the good
energetic,
shit.
just power and aggression and energy. So it's a lot of that. So it's the newest song we wrote that we released. It's called Sufferide, which is a made-up word that I made up. But yeah, we released that on October 1st, I think. What's today, the 13th?
Yes.
So yeah, it's 13 days old, and it's done tremendous. I wrote the song originally in probably 2005.
Okay.
And once again, it got shelved. And then I brought it back out a few months ago, and I recorded with my boy Van. What's up, Van? At B Enormous Productions.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Jamie Crow Bartley did some drums. I did everything else on the song, and it is just heavy hitting, man. It's cool. It's already been on Kilo and KTCL.
Nice. Well, I just put it on my Apple Music, so I will listen to it as soon as we're done with this. So it's funny that you talk about these songs that are shelved. So Through Bloodshot Eyes, the song that Gunpowder Empire is releasing this Friday, was
By the way, cool name. I like that.
Thank you. I give Sean Peck all the credit. He was like, I've always wanted to name a band this, and I was like, cool, let's do it. It's easy because naming a band's the hardest part.
Being a good band is the hardest part.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. There's some great band names that are some terrible bands.
Hey, ADD, who's your favorite band name? Not your favorite band, your favorite band name.
Oh man. That's tough because I there's some really great ones. I've always been partial to the presidents of the United States of America, just because I think that they were just like, let's do that. I would say the most unique name that I've always loved because they had such great songs back in the day was Butthole Surfers.
Still makes me laugh.
Yeah, I'm still a child. Or when the swing revival came through, you had the Squirrel Nut Zippers and the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yes. Yeah. But the song Through Bloodshot Eyes was originally called The Right Hand of the Wrong, and we wrote it like 10 years ago, and all we had for it was a verse, a riff, and a chorus, and that was it. And we found like an old recorder that had it on it when we were thinking about writing new material. And Sean's like, we should revive this and see what happens. And it was the first song that the four of us together wrote as a band. And it is unbelievable. I love this song. I'm so excited. And the rewrite of the lyrics came through 3 days before we went to the studio. Like, I was like, I'm not really feeling these. Can we change these? And so we sat in a room for like 2.5 hours and rewrote the lyrics. And then Taylor Hahn of Hahn Audio is where we recorded it. And he threw in his 2 cents and made it even better. And then Ted Jensen from Sterling Music did the mastering for us and made that thing absolutely beautiful. And I'm so proud of this little baby. It's beautiful.
You got some good names on there too, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see how it turns out and what we can do with it. We also just signed I can actually say this now. We signed a short-term deal with Adam Ramey of Dropout Kings. Okay. They did a track with Shaylee from Dayshell called Combat. It's a fucking money track. If you like that kind of new metal vibe and Dayshell vocals from of Mice and Men era when he was their frontman, he has a company called Push Digital Marketing, and so we signed with them for a 2-month deal to help get promotion out for that. So we're working with him to build the brand a little bit and see what happens from there. You know, and sometimes you gotta take risks to make money in this industry or even make a name at some time. So it's always good to try and throw those things out there. You know, I gotta compliment your hat, by the way. It looks like, is that Colorado roots? Like your roots are in Colorado? That's beautiful, man.
That's what's up.
I dig it.
So anybody that knows me, I'm a hat guy. I love hats. And when I was in Lost Point, I had a hat deal with a company called Block Headwear.
Nice.
Not Blockhead Wear, but Block Headwear. And it was cool because it was my first like you know, I would get shipments of free shit. Right? It was super cool. So like we just get all these hats, and then we would use them for videos and photo shoots and CD covers and stuff. And so this company, I forget what that stands for, YWR, but they've got some pretty cool hats too. And I was wearing this in the video. So either I'll get in trouble and I'll have to blur out the video because they didn't give me permission, or maybe somebody from their company will reach out and maybe they'll throw me some hats so I can.
Okay, so the company's called Wear Your Roots.
There you go.
I got you. That's what I'm here for. I got 2 monitors because I'm a nerd. So I can have the research monitor and the visual monitor. It's also a front light for me as well to make me look like a vampire for every interview.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to do my lighting as well. Maybe I'll do this.
There you go. Nice. Yeah.
It's better?
Noe, where are you?
How do I do this?
Anyway, man, I got to wrap this up because unfortunately we still haven't eaten dinner yet because we are lame and both of us have to work a lot and chains. But
this has nothing to do with food, bro. Don't lie to me. What's your girl's name?
Hillary.
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
No, I just did. Hillary.
Oh, Hillary.
Yeah.
Where's the hand at?
Hillary. He wants to see your hand again. There it is.
Jazz fingers.
Jazz fingers. He gave you jazz fingers just to. Yeah, there you go, jazz hands. She's the best. She puts up with me every day, and I appreciate it. It's true love at this point. I can say that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. But this stage is all yours. Anything you want to promote, any projects, any future upcoming projects, anything, Whiskey Heart, all of it. This is your stage right now. Go.
This always feels weird when you do this stuff. You know how it goes, man. All I gotta ask you is do me a favor, man. Put a link to Whiskey Heart down there, and then my website, tylerstanfield.com. The video's doing well. Suffer Ride by Fools to Lie is doing pretty well. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere, but Spotify seems to be the biggest pull so far. I do have a show that we're working on in December for the full band for Tyler Stanfield, the Tyler Stanfield Band. I can't release any details yet, but we're this close to confirming. And once we do, it's a super intimate VIP socially distanced show at a venue that you will never get to experience anything like that at again. So stay tuned for that, and I can't wait to release the details. And once again, some of the guys that I have joining me on stage and gals are insanely talented, and so stay tuned. Share Whiskey Heart.
Amen, man. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for giving me some of your time, man. I appreciate it. I'll let you know exactly when this is up, and it'll probably be sooner rather than later. just to help get everything pushing, and we'll go from there. I'll reach out to you also beforehand to figure out if you have anything you need to promote then, and I'll put it in the intro because I do you've watched the podcast, you know what I do.
Hey, what's on the last one?
Yeah.
What was the song that you used as the intro?
So the song for the intro and outro is by the band Mosaic. Do you know Nima Sabani?
I think so.
So Nima, he was part of Skylaw as well. A while back, but it's him, Eric Martin, Phil Turcotte, and I always forget their bassist's name, and he hates me for it. But the band is called Mosaic.
Hey, I was a bass player too.
Yeah, I am one.
Bass player name.
I'm a bassist and a vocalist, and most people only know that I sing. But the first song is called Dad Rock, and the second song is called Life Less.
So I haven't heard the outro.
Yeah.
But the intro song is wicked.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you
send me the link to that too. I wanna put that on my playlist. That song kicks ass.
I will send you all that when we get done here.
Do it right now, bro.
Okay, I'll go and do it
Right now.
while we're still in this, because I can do that. They have a video on that on YouTube for that as well.
Share all that shit. You can put it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna link.
Every artist that we talked about tonight, put a link to all of their websites. Everybody.
Just everywhere, all around the screen.
Scatter it with Scott and Jace and all the guys you just talked about.
Yeah, definitely. Because Jace has a bunch of solo stuff
Chelsea
too.
and this and that.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you want to know something cool?
Yes.
So Jace just shot his video for his new single that's coming out.
Uh-huh.
And once again, wait till you see who's in the video. I'm not going to say anything, but it might be a couple of the names that we just mentioned. And
is Scott playing banjo in it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Then I'm all in.
it's like hard rock, but with Jace's like cool bluesy feel to it.
Yeah.
But there was, and I'm playing bass in it, and then Mike Rice is playing drums.
Okay.
We shot it, or not we. Jace shot it with Kyle Lamar. And
Digital Mile.
And it's we're out in the country, way out in the middle of nowhere. I can't wait to see the video in person. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Nice.
But yeah, so Scott's in it. I got a little 2-second thing in it.
There you go.
And then Jace just slays it, man. He kills it. That song. There's a couple minutes, there's a riff at the end of the song where it just drops into this really cool groove. And you just kind of get lost in it. It's cool. I can't wait to hear that song. It's pretty dope. And
that's something that he does
to release it too.
That's something he does really well as well. Something I love about Jace is like his ability to write guitar parts just makes my head spin.
Dude, it's so cool.
He's amazing.
It's called Worth It, by the way.
Okay. I will definitely check that out. Do you know when that's supposed to drop?
Hit Jace up. I know soon.
Okay.
But you know how the editing process and all that BS goes.
Yeah. We're going to be working with Kyle on the second video for our second single that's coming out hopefully the end of this year called Evil Within. So
I'm going to say this and we can end on this if you want to.
Yeah.
I am really proud of how hard everybody is working right now. And maybe it's because it's my group of friends, but I mean, there are so many musicians out there. Dave Preston, Rachel James, which her new project is called Rachel A. Just so many projects that of musicians that I know that are so talented and so amazing and so good to listen to. I'm so proud of everybody that's working so hard. And I cannot wait to see what 2021 brings, because if everybody's working this hard right now, and they're all just dropping it right now, just think of where it's going to be in 6 months. Just think of where it's going to be in a year. I cannot wait to see all my friends and colleagues and musicians that I am honored to work with. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen 6 months from now.
Oh, dude, I can't either. I think it's going to be incredible.
And
That's a perfect.
just like you're saying with your stuff, man. I mean, you've been working hard for this, and you're dropping this stuff, and it's I just can't wait to see what happens.
It's gonna be great, man. I can't wait. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being an awesome guest. You will be back on whenever you want. Just let me know. Hey, I got something to promote, and I'll make sure we make time.
All right, what are you doing in an hour?
In an hour, I'm gonna be watching Bly Manor with my girlfriend. The Haunting of Bly Manor, episode 3, 4. Hill. We're on 3. We're gonna be on 4 probably.
Hey, what inners you got on?
What? The shares. I think the 325s.
So I gotta give a shout out to West Tone. I don't know if you know or not, but I'm an endorsed artist by West Tone.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't have my stuff with me, but they're a great company, and I'm very happy with mine. So that's why I'm asking how you like the Shores, because I was up between Shore and West Tone, and I ended up going with West Tone. So
I've had these. I was in Red Tide Rising, and I got these when we did our tours.
I remember everything.
They are now called Anti-Saint. Speaking of your Chevelle vibe, they just changed the name in September for a whole rebrand because they have a whole new sound. They're pretty dope. They are amazing now. They have a new drummer who's been, well, he's not new per se, but he's been with them since we did the Seven Dust tour a couple years back. Mm-hmm. So that's when I left them because it's a long story. We can talk about that another time. But I got these with them. So these are actually starting to die. So if you're talking about West Tones, I might look into those and change up because I'm not married to these. These just happen to be the in-ears that I have. And I've enjoyed them. They're starting to fade though. I'm
not a salesman. I'm not trying to I'm just asking. I love my in-ears, and I can't wait to start playing shows again so I can use them.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. When you do these acoustic gigs, it's like,
yeah,
usually the room doesn't call to have your in-ear setup. So
yep, I totally know that. The only shows I've played this year, I've played one acoustic show this year at Trailside with Zach Beecroft. It was one of their stream shows, which was a lot of fun. So, cool. Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Always.
I'll let you and the lady go do some S&M stuff, and I appreciate you guys.
Definitely, brother. Take care. Peace. And enjoy the rest of your time out in New York. Travel safe.
Hey, thank you so much, man.
See you.
Take
Bye.
care.
It almost feels like someone else is living my life. 'Cause it almost feels like someone else is